Public and employee comments or questions?
Okay, students of excellence, Mr. Brown.
Well, I have one of the two here, so
Do you want to wait?
I don't know.
You do this every
I
time.
do it on purpose. I do it on purpose. I got the email that saying they would be here, so.
Okay, well, we can wait.
We can wait.
Yeah, if Aiden's cool with that.
Okay. Anything for the citizens agenda?
Actually, we have, not anyone that called to talk, but we do have Mike Smith here, and he is from Tuscola. He's superintendent over there, and he is going to talk about his run for Regional Office of Education superintendent.
All right, well, thank you. I'm going to set my water up here. I've been fighting the cold. First of all, thank you for having me. This serves as nothing more than just an introduction so you can put a face with the name. I am the Tuscola superintendent. I've been in education 20-some years. I was at Oakland, which is kind of on the other side of the region, for 16 of those. I served as a teacher, coach, K-12 principal, assistant superintendent. I always tell people they named me assistant superintendent the year they couldn't give me a raise, which I appreciated the board doing that. And then I was superintendent for 4 years. And Shannon, I'm probably in the way here. This is my wife, Shannon Smith. She's our technology director. She was already teaching in Tuscola, and I was asked to apply for that position. When I applied, the Tuscola School District, and the farther we get away from Tuscola, probably the less that people know about our situation. But when I applied at Tuscola, they were just flat broke. They had had to borrow money to make payroll a couple months before I got there. We worked really hard, and by we, I mean the custodians, secretaries, teachers, principals, parents, everyone involved in the district, and now we have, and this will make sense to you guys, we have a little over $5 million in our fund balances. And this is my 7th year there, and so it's been a long process. I tell people, and this will just make sense to you guys, is when we started we had 13 days left of cash, and now we're up to 148. So it's not been an easy process. It's not been a process that has made everyone happy. There were tough decisions. There were some difficult circumstances for the staff and the kids and myself and the board and everyone involved, but we've all pulled together and done a good job. I have the rest of this year on my contract, and next year our daughter's a junior, and we'll be going to watch her play basketball in Warrensburg here in a second. But I knew as she graduated, I wanted to do something else, and I didn't know what it was. So I had told my board president this last spring that I'm going to go do something, and I have no idea. I just turned 50. I want a new challenge. We're going to be able to have an empty nest. We're going to be able to tackle something differently. And then this opportunity to run for regional office came. I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I will never run for another office, win or lose. When I started this campaign, I was pretty sure I was going to lose because I started late. I don't have anyone working on it. It's just my wife and I. I don't take campaign contributions. I just go out and speak and kind of hope for the best. I will say, while you guys have a list of 10 items that were put together by other superintendents and principals, like the people like Charlie, although, I mean, Charlie didn't help me on the list, but high school principals, grade school principals, just some items that the group of 24 schools and the one special ed co-op, which is easy, put together. In Central A&M, you guys are so far kind of on the outskirts of the region. You're kind of like I was when I was at Oakland, that we want to make sure that we bring professional development to you guys, that we can get you involved, that time and distance isn't such a tough, or something that stops you from being part of the group. But to be completely honest, there's lots of good reasons on there, but there's one thing, and absolutely one thing, that pushed me into this race. Matt Toon had the terrible tragedy with the shooting in the cafeteria, and I was just mortified when I found out that the ROE never contacted them. And one of my great fears as superintendent is the safety of the kids. I tell people the story when I was principal at Oakland. When I worried about safety, honest to goodness, it was about the high school kids kind of screwing around during the tornado drill. And society has changed, and now we all have those big concerns. And I just felt like the ROE, being 5 miles away, could have sent an email, could have stopped in and sat with the superintendent, could have gave a hug, I don't know what it would be. And at the ROE, there's not a lot of help that you can provide, you know, in situations like that, but you can certainly provide support. So that pushed me into the race. We're doing the best we can. If we do well, great. If we don't, we'll take on our next challenge, whatever that might be. I appreciate, you know, your time, letting me stop in. This worked out great with a basketball game right up the street. I always tell people it's an honor to be always with the most popular man in Tuscola, Charlie Brown. So with that, I don't have anything else. And like I said, I appreciate your time. And I hope you have a good rest of the school year.
And the primary's March 24th, is it?
March 20th.
March 20th.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We wish you the best.
Oh, thank you. And we'll see you, Charlie.
Drive safely.
Oh, thank you, dude.
very much.
I would like to talk before the public comment.
You're up.
Oh. Just going to go over a couple things that we typically find. I'm John Pratt with the Aaron County Watchdogs. We typically find things that happen during election cycles that probably should not be happening. And one thing is electioneering using public resources. Providing, like he did today, providing comment during public comment, perfectly okay. He came in here as a person to talk during the normal public comment time. But the Article 8 of the Constitution states that public funds, property, credit shall be used only for public purposes. So when you define public funds, property, and credit, I think everybody knows that a school building is public property. Credit cards are public funds or credit. Computers are public property. And email accounts and the use of email servers is public property and the use of public funds. So I got a hold of some documents from around the Regional Office 11, and some school districts and some superintendents, not yours, thank you, that I know of anyway, have used their public email, which is public property, for electioneering purpose and participating in prohibited political activities. And by that I mean emails back and forth with a particular Regional Office of Education superintendent candidate who was just here speaking. One email disparaging the current regional superintendent with a curse word. Other emails talking about you know, has the Republican Party stepped up to help you out? Not yet, but I'm going to check. That's all electioneering. It's all prohibited political activity. I would hope that you would advise your school, you know, ahead of time before they get in any trouble, that using school email and school time for that is not proper and can get them in trouble. And that's all I have. Thanks for letting me talk.
Sure.
John, what was your last name again?
K-R-A-F-T.
Any questions? Mr. Rourke, you're up.
You're up.
Excellent. So,
This is teacher talk.
do what? Is this
Talk
the
about
math
teacher talk.
program? Teacher talk, fine.
Teacher talk.
Like coffee talk? Thank you.
It's like coffee talk. Did you bring the coffee?
I made a list of things that I may not necessarily talk in that order. That's just the order I thought of them. So, introductions. My name is Todd Rourke. I am one of 3 math teachers at the high school. I know it's formality for everybody watching. So I've listed here, you know, the classes that we offer at the high school, and just kind of give you an overview of what we do at the high school, and just some other things that we're able to offer that maybe other schools don't. So I've kind of listed the classes there that we offer. On the back, I have kind of put together maybe a typical sequence that you may see with low, mid, and high abilities for math for freshmen through seniors. And this can always change depending on situations or what may happen, or if a kid transfers in, things may change. But we also have, this is our third year of being able to offer dual credit classes through Richland. And of the 23 students, so far 15 of them have been able to receive credit through Richland. And so what that means is, if it doesn't matter if they go to Richland or if they go to a different school afterwards, they will have college credit through Richland. It doesn't cost them anything, it doesn't cost us anything. And basically what has to happen is, when they come in as a junior or senior, depending off their pre-calculus or calculus, they have to take a placement test through Richland, and if they are high enough, then they are enrolled in my Richland class. So as of right now, we are the only school that offers both of these classes to Richland. No other high school offers them through Richland. So it's kind of a nice, with all the bigger schools in the Decatur area, we're the only one that offers these two. So that's something I'm really proud of. List here the technology, and this isn't just for me, this is a collective list that myself and Ms. Vogt and Mr. Rosenbaum have put together, and you're all capable of reading. So I'll save you the details. But one thing I will point out, here in the middle you see Remind here. And this is something that I have recommended to those two, and they've really taken on, is the Remind, which is basically an app where it works just like a text message, where you can send information to the parents and the students. So when I finish a lesson, I can get on my account on the internet and I can send it to the kids and the parents, and they get it right away. And one thing I do remind the kids, it's not a necessity, it's just a luxury. So obviously they have the assignments written down, but it's just an extra thing, especially for freshman parents. They really like, they come into parent-teacher conference, yeah, I got your thing, chapter 5 test. So when the kids come home, they're like, oh, we don't have anything, really. And so they can see all of it, and it's great communication for them. Future vision. I'd like to add another class to Richland, which is, we're going to do some testing in the spring, and I would like to add a 098 class. And basically what this is, it's a math class that gives them credit. As a senior in high school, it's called placement credit. That way, when they go into Richland as a freshman, they can enroll in their base class, like college algebra or something like that. Because sometimes if you're behind, like I was in English, you have to take like extra classes to get caught up. I know, senor. So you have to take extra classes to get caught up. But the dual, and this class doesn't have to be taught by me. It can be taught by any math certified teacher. So that's a nice perk too. So Mr. Rosenbaum or Ms. Vogt can teach that class. It wouldn't have to be me. So the dual credit is something I've been really proud of, and Mrs. Simmons and Mr. Brown have been great helping me, answering any questions or helping me do stuff. It's always yes, whatever we need to do, and it's been really good. So any questions?
Yes, you have 23 enrolled, but only 15 get dual credit.
So dual credit is not automatic.
Oh.
So what will happen is that the semester will split the sections, and some I'll do like lab work, and some will be like the dual credit. So that way, because technically you can't have dual credit and non-credit in the same section. So
Is there a reason why the 8 others aren't a dual credit?
they just didn't test high enough. You
Oh,
have to,
test,
yeah,
alright.
you have to, Richland says you have to get this number on it, or you cannot be in our class.
But we accept them in
Right,
the class.
right, it doesn't kick them out of our class.
Okay.
So, and I've got some students that are graduating with 8 credit hours, because calculus is a 5-credit class and pre-calculus is 3 credits. So,
That's great. Anything else?
it's a good question.
Thank you, Mr. Rourke. We
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank you.
coming
Thank
in.
Yep.
Finally.
And I think we're going to jump back to Aiden now.
She said they were running late and they would be here within 15, but that was 15 minutes ago.
Okay, so maybe,
So as I talk, if I stretch it out long enough, which I'm capable
you're
of doing.
very good at that.
We can hit on it. Before I introduce, I want to piggyback on his talk there. Dual credit is something that we really are hitting hard. And basically what we're allowing our kids to do is to basically graduate from Central A&M with almost a year full of junior college at the same time. For example, Lexi Smith graduated from Richland after 1 year. She was done because of what she earned before she got to Richland, earned through the transfer academy and the dual credit here. So those are just some great opportunities that we can give to our families as they're coming up. All right, Aiden, come on up here. First of my 2 students of excellence is Aiden Sanders. He is a sophomore at Central A&M. And Aiden was a recipient of an All-Central Illinois Conference, All-Conference team in Scholastic Bowl for the JV team. He finished 6th, right?
Yes.
6th. Finished 6th overall in the conference season with toss-up questions, so that earned him a spot on the all-conference team. So I thought that was well worthy and well noted. Aiden is also very involved in music and sports. He played football this year, and he also is involved in the musical with the Wizard of Oz. He is playing the Lion.
Awesome.
I stalled there even though I knew that because I can't help but see him as a Tin Man. I just can't. He is a Tin Man, but he is playing the Lion. And Aiden is also involved in band heavily. And are you in choir too?
Yes.
Yes, I thought, okay. So he's also involved in chorus. So. And very proud of Aiden, and I'll let Aiden introduce his family.
I've got my mother and father over there, Darcy and Kenny, respectively, and then Madeline down low.
And he's on the Scholastic Bowl. That's why he can use the word respectively correctly. Congratulations. Proud of you.
Congratulations.
Oh, we'll wait. I mean, we won't wait. We'll
I
try to
know,
go
we
on.
can come back soon. I'm sure I'll take it.
So, items to be added to the,
Yes.
Are we moving away from public comment? I just had one quick comment if we still have public comment.
yeah, for future reference, we'd like for people to call ahead if they want to make public comments, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just real quick, in regards to what Mr. Kraft had talked about with electioneering, if I'm speaking out of turn, I apologize. I didn't see the document that was shared with you from Mr. Miller or Mr. Smith, the ROE candidate.
Can even give you a copy.
I don't know if that's some type of a campaign document.
I think it's more of it's just more of an introduction, but you're welcome to see it.
Well, my point with it would be, if it gets distributed, if it was given to someone at the school and then they copied it to give it to you in your board packets, that becomes electioneering if this is an electioneering document. And if it's a candidate introduction document, by default, you folks have been engaged in electioneering, so I would really caution how this stuff comes in.
Right, unless we had both of them, I would never allow that. If we had every candidates, we could do that.
Right.
But, and I think my teachers and I know my administrators all know that, but I do appreciate the reminder, because it can get real sticky very fast.
It's that simple as to how it can creep in and bite you, and that's the only reason I mention it, because Just a simple piece of paper that gets copied and distributed becomes electioneering.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do have an item to be added. It is to approve Nicole Davis as a 2017-18 volunteer assistant high school girls softball coach. 2017-18. Volunteer assistant softball.
Nicole Davis.
Yeah, volunteer assistant. Okay, Mr. Brown, you're back up.
Okay. Come on up here, Patton. All right. I'll introduce my second of my two students of excellence, Patton Elliott. Patton, a senior here at Central A&M, was recipient of the number 3 spot on the varsity Scholastic Bowl all-conference team due to his performance during the season. Patton also played football and was
Plan on doing track too.
and planned on doing track too. Okay, there you go. And he was also involved in several other things at Central A&M, including a strong library aide in the library to help out. But Patton had a very nice season in Scholastic Bowl, finishing 3rd in that conference is pretty good because there's a couple of really top-ranked teams in there. So Patton was very quick with his thumb and very quick with the correct answer. And I'll tell you one thing, in going to the Scholastic Bowl meets, there is very little about mythology he doesn't know. He knows a lot. So if you have any questions that ever come into your mind about mythology, call Patton and he will be able to answer them.
We want him on our trivia team.
You want him on the trivia team because mythology he will nail up in there. How do you want to introduce your mom?
Yeah, that's my mom, Linda Elliott, and my dad, who cannot be here due to work, is Thomas Elliott. And just proud to be in this for the last year.
Awesome. Patton, we're very proud of you.
Okay. Reports from the minister.